Top of the morning to you all. Welcome to the latest round of the Historic Road Racing Championship, brought to you by the GP Laps YouTube channel and the broadcast brought to you by the great folk at Simply Race based in Milton Keynes. Today we go from the insanity of the Isle of Man just over the Irish Sea into Northern Ireland for the Dundrod round of the season, the home of the Ulster Grand Prix. Now, as you can probably see from the sort of drone shots that we've got here, it's a narrow track. It's about 7.5 miles long, and there's barely enough room to get by, so things are going to need to be calculated and also careful. Now, usually the home of bikes, this will play host to the majestic 1954 sports cars you've come to know and love over the course of this season. But who will prevail on the Emerald Isle? To find out, let's watch together with this whole shebang, hosted by me, Aidan Maud, and joining me is the equally majestic Alex Goldschmidt. Alex, welcome to your first round of HRRC.
Thank you very much, Aidan. Good afternoon, everybody. That was a very majestic intro there, my friend. Nearly put Lewis McGlade in the shade, so to speak, and he's known for his welcome intros. But no, a fantastic circuit. I mean, of course, Dundrod ran sports cars five times between 50 and 55, and the late Sir Sterling Moss picked up 3 of those victories. But yeah, this circuit, incredibly tight. I've seen some hot laps coming up to pre-qualifying today, and yeah, there's hardly any room to swing a cat, let alone try and overtake here. And that's what's going to be interesting over the next couple of hours of racing, Aidan.
Yeah, we were saying sort of pre-show that these are the sort of roads that you and I both learned to drive on.
Yeah,
myself in Lincolnshire, yourself down in the southeast. So we're kind of familiar with these roads, and we're kind of familiar with people trying to go fast on these kinds of roads. But we need to see how these older cars, bias ply tyres, not very good brakes, and you can see the fans standing very, very close to like barbed wire fences and stuff, straw bales on the exits of some of these corners, ditches and things like that. We're probably going to see a few cars in those ditches, which, you know, again, you and I are used to seeing in the UK countryside. But it's just going to be amazing because we've seen the 3 classes going around. We've been given sort of pointers by, you know, the sort of helpers that we have behind the scenes, and seen that a 2-litre class car is currently on provisional pole. So the 2 litres must be able to just absolutely lob themselves through the corners with that lack of weight.
I think also with the amount of control that you'll have with the 2 litres in comparison with the 5 litre, you know, that's going to be a bit more nose heavy. So yeah, I mean, looking at the standings here, I mean, great to see a familiar face in the form of Jurnej Simoncic, who I don't think is competing today, but yeah, still anything's up for grabs with this and 2 more rounds to go.
Yeah, they do have 2 drop rounds, remember, so, you know, Jurnej can afford to miss a couple of rounds. He's still there on 14 points. You know, Jake, GP Laps, Richie Axelson, whichever name you want to apply to him, we'll just call him Jake because we know who he is, sitting at the top of his own league, not suspicious at all, with 19 points. We've got Jackson Robillard down there, the other American in the 5-litre class. He's there on 12, but the people that we need to look at are down there in like sort of 7th. Askari Kantonen, who is currently on provisional pole as we speak. Time's sort of really close around there, so we need to look out for him. There is a potential that he could end up being within the fight to take the overall championship win. 5-litre class on your screen. Again, Jake and Jurnej at the top there. Jurnej doing some other things this weekend by the looks of things. Last time out, it was the Bahrain version or Bahrain round of Virtual Le Mans, so he couldn't be there for that. Enzo Fazzi there as well, still on 6. Juanmi Costa, Scooby, and Charles Leclerc. Which is a pseudonym, which, you know, 1954, it happened, as they all there on the 5-litre class. 3 litres, the middle class, as it were. Rajasu commanding lead at the top there because Eduardo Beninca missed the first round, but Beninca's still there on 12. Mark Zidler on 8. Franek Godrecki on 6. Toby Johnson also on 6. And then Martin Bayer, Nitramson, Ariel Diaz on 4, and then Valentin Iliev and Matt Wright on 3 after just 3 rounds with 3 to go. Subwolf 07, he leads the 2-litre class ahead of Jake Britton. Askari Kantonen missed the first round, had some issues at Isle of Man, but took a commanding win at Spa, so he's there leading that little championship there, so I expect him to go up. Also down there, Reese Gardner couldn't be here today, as you might have seen on Twitter. There was a little bit of an issue with his sort of sim racing hangout, as it were. Hopefully that Reese's stuff is all okay and he gets all that sorted and comes back for Targa Florio later on in the year. But that's the standings, and then we have the hot lap competition as well. So you get a bonus point for getting pole positions and being the fastest in pre-qualifying and stuff like that. So you got Nico Hillebrand there, 1 point for Longford, 1 point for Spa. Kasper Stolzer picking up 2 points at Spa. And I actually don't know how this actually works, but yeah, it's extra bonus points for the championship. Could mean winning or losing if you don't don't convert them.
Yeah, always the way with the hot laps. It's very, very different to traditional championship standings, but it's a nice little feature of the historic road racing championship. But yeah, I mean, we've just been given the fact that we're going to have there's pre-qualifying leading up to this week, and 40 drivers. Well, we're going to have 39 of them because Armesto is a non-starter. But I mean, we've just been shown the top 10 starters, Aidan. Oskari Kantonen has just put in a 4-minute 13.194. 6.5 tenths ahead of Jake. Scooby on a controller puts in a 4-minute 14.378. Just under 1.2 seconds. Jackson Robillard in fourth, ahead of Martin Bayer. Mantaz Izaganitis running at the top 6, covered by 3.3 seconds. So a 2 litre taking overall pole here at Dundrod. I mean, I saw one of his hot laps earlier on this week, and I was just like thinking, earlier on today, funny enough, in the build-up, I was just like thinking, that is just crazy. And I used the moniker in our respective production Discord chat. He's been called the Triple F, and the 2 last words are Flying Fin. You can guess what the third one might be. The third one at the front of it might be.
Fantastically. So but the great thing there is that we've got obviously the 2 litre on pole, the 5 litre second, third, fourth, a 3 litre in fifth, a 3 litre in eighth, and a 2 litre in ninth. So there's a nice little mix of the classes all going on in there. So we should have a nice little fight, and it'd be a good way of seeing the advantages and disadvantages of the different classes working out. This is a twisty track. So the 2 litres are going to be able to throw the car in a little bit harder because they're lighter. The 5 litres are going to be a little bit bulkier. You think of like the modern Formula 1 cars versus the old Formula 1 cars. The modern ones look a bit slower going through some of the corners compared to the old ones, which look a lot faster. And compared to somewhere like Spa, where 5 litres are going to win that one. Le Mans, 5 litres are going to win that one. But here, seeing them actually 6.5 tenths ahead of a faster car. It's like a GTE out qualifying an LMP1, isn't it?
Very much so. And the LMP1 has its hybrid attachment as well, for good measure. But yeah, I mean, an astounding lap from Oskari Kantonen there. Just absolutely mega. He's gotten quicker and quicker over the course of the week, and heading into pre-qualifying, he was 1.8 seconds behind Jake, but he's done a little bit of the hard work. But now it's the next 2 hours that are going to decide what happens for fourth round of the HRRC. Yeah,
does Jake try and push for the win, or does he do this in the same vein as someone like Alain Prost or Colin Turkington and just bank the points safely and just focus on Scooby rather than Oskari, and then just if Oskari goes off, Oskari goes off? It's there's a lot of strategy to be played in here, and we've seen the pole time being a 4:13.1. Just for reference, the motorbike record around this track is a 3:17. So motorbikes on a public road versus cars on a public road, obviously the motorbikes are going to be a little bit faster, but I think I'd rather drive the car. I've got seatbelts and all sorts going on. I'm strapped in. I can't come off a car. Just saying, I think I'd rather take my chances with crashing a car around here than a motorcycle.
Unless your name's Guy Martin, you end up.
Unless you're Guy Martin. Oh my god, that crash.
Oh. I think the words that we used when he came off the bike was Guy Martin like a rag doll. Those were the words that were actually used. And arms, limbs flailing everywhere, hitting the safety barrier actually coming through, because he must have been going at such a rate of knots, probably the best part of 150, 160 miles an hour to lose at that speed. I mean, it's a bit like
he missed
the right-hander through in the Isle of Man.
He missed the barrier by a couple of inches. If he'd hit the barrier, he'd have been all right, because then he bounced halfway across the field. I think that's where the damage was done. But yeah, go and watch that after you've watched this, obviously, because Guy Martin, legend, but also mental.
Crazy is an understatement for that.
Yeah, we're just just in the transitional phase. Got a few drivers just finishing up their laps, and then we'll get on with it. It's going to be, I'm told, it's going to be like a traditional Le Mans start. So they're not going to be starting on the actual grid. They're going to be starting sort of as they would at Le Mans, and they're going to drive off in that manner. They think it's going to be a little bit safer. Just been told that the warm-up is still ongoing. So got about a minute and 30, so grab yourself some drinks. Say hello in the Simply Race and Aidan Millward YouTube chats as well. Get Jake's POV up on another tab or another device or whatever. And it should be a very entertaining evening or late afternoon of racing. Better just move my phone out of the way because I'm probably going to get the football scores lobbed at me in a second as Walsall lose again. But it's going to be a great afternoon. The racing we've seen at places like Longford was a brilliant race. Spa was fantastic. The Isle of Man was very difficult to keep up with, but fair play to these guys for going out and attacking that particular track. It must have taken forever to learn. And you think of the Nürburgring 14.5 miles versus nearly 60 kilometers or whatever that is in the old money. We're British, so we're going to be using the old money throughout this because, well, it's 1954 as well, so might as well use the old money and keep it realistic. But some great scenes put together by our broadcast director Daniel Castillo as well, showing how this track flows and goes up hills and down hills, and you've got like the aeroplanes and the hot air balloons flying around, and very detailed track. And that's a beautiful shot right there with the smoke coming out the chimneys. Just put a filter on that and you'd think you're actually there, wouldn't you?
Yep, put a bit of a noir filter and you'll feel like you're back watching an old 1950s TV screen.
Heartbeat, isn't
it? You know what? You took the words right out of my mouth there.
Looks like something out of Heartbeat. In wrong country. Wrong country, but there you go. That's one for the mums and dads.
I think one of the other things that I've noticed about this track here at Dundron, Aidan, is there's some nice open spaces, but then you got the tree cover, which is also going to be quite interesting in terms of are the drivers gonna push it? And having looked through the supplementary notes that we've been given, is the fact that there's no mandatory passing rules in place. So all slower cars are expected to maintain the racing line for the faster cars to make their way around. Well, if you've got Oscar Cantonen breathing down your neck in a 2-litre and you're on a 5-litre, that could be interesting to watch.
Yeah, it's similar to how endurance racing rules work in the real world in the modern era. It's just like just use some common sense. I mean, like we've seen how here we go. They're lined up in the traditional Le Mans start, so we'll probably get back to that point a little bit later if I get reminded about that. So we're just waiting for everything to click over and for lights to go out and people can dump the clutch, give it some jandle and go away. And we've got Ascari Canton in there in the Finnish racing colours. Some bipping of the horns in the background as well, just for added comedy value. This is going to be quite interesting. I've never seen this actually pulled off in a sim before. Got 4 seconds. Here come the lights. I say lights, and we're away. Proper Le Mans start. That guy's going to have to move, and now he's dead as Jackson Robillard gets away. Ascari Cantonen appears to have got the best start of everybody else. He's into an immediate lead as we're just trying to see what happens in the background. As we see yellow in Sector 1 already. Someone's already had an accident. Ascari Cantonen's been out-dragged by Jake up the main straight here. Some of these things are going to flap around as different classes end up being in the lead or behind or whatever. We've seen how jumbled up everything is, but I think everything is okay for now, Alex.
Mark Seeders just DNF'd. There was a massive incident where they actually pulled out of the pit lane. I think probably a 3-car incident. So Mark Seeders already he's already DNF'd, and he was 19th in pre-qualifying. So that's the first casualty, and we're not even a minute into the race. But yeah, Ascari Cantonen currently leading the way in the 2-litre class. We've got Erwan Bouguier down in the 217 in the wonderful Gordinis. I haven't heard that name in a while.
Yeah, it's basically what's happened is that the cars were released under fake names, and then we've just put the real ones in, so you know what's what. Sometimes it will flick over, just limitations in the broadcasting system at the minute, but beautiful French colours as well. And you can just see that Erwan Bouguier was sniffing, but didn't actually try and lunge his car into anything because it's barely wide enough for 2.5 cars. So, like I say, this place is more suited for motorbikes. But we've got Jake leading by about 3/4 of a second from Robillard. I think Robillard has actually got into second overall. So, on the straights, 5 litres have got the advantage here.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about the top speeds of these cars, I mean, some of the Jaguar D-Type has the VMAX, so like top pegging about 277 kilometers an hour. Austin Birchfield, just being told, is continuing on with 3 wheels on the wagon. Hopefully it's not on the rear drivetrain, but it's on steering. That's going to be an even bigger problem to try and steer it, depending on which side of the axle it's on.
Well, we know where Michael Schumacher copied it from. If he's driving on 3 wheels, he's going to have to get that fixed as quickly as possible. But we saw people try to finish with like 3 wheels at the Isle of Man because you might as well stay on the track and try and finish. But 5 litres definitely pulling away. I think Scooby might have actually got into 3rd overall right now. We're just trying to see where everything is. We don't really have a tick or any live time, but Austin has just been DNF'd. I've been reliably informed. So we've lost 2 drivers, and we're not even 5 minutes into the race.
Well, Jake just had a bit of a tank slapper coming out of that right hand there. He was actually into the grass on the left-hand side, so a bit of a wobble from the 100. Scotty Cantonen, look at the lead he's got in the 2 litre class. Nearly 9 seconds within the first 3 minutes. The Finn is absolutely flying.
I think he's treating it like a rally stage. I wouldn't be surprised if he does a Scandi flick into the hairpin near the end of the lap, because just getting onto the dust on the exit there, beautiful to watch. And is that traffic in the background that's just been part of the scenery, or is that actually? Oh, it's actually Martin Bayer, who has gone full James May and got a little bit lost.
Oh, he's done a bit of a Captain Slow.
I think he's just overshot the corner there and rejoins, waiting for the traffic to go by. And here is the hairpin, so expect a Scandi flick from Ascari Cantonen. Handbrake? Nope, he's just going to do a... Oh, there we go!
Oh, nice.
Oh, yes!
it kind
Show
of
off.
It kind of reminds me, you remember the Melco hairpin at Macau, when Stefano Camini decided in the TCR International Series to pull up the handbrake and do a full-on drift. And I think Seb Loeb also did. Seb Loeb did it there as well in the Citroen C-Elise WTCC car at one particular point. Camini was like, "Yeah, we're going to go sideways around the Melco hairpin," and Scotty Cantonen definitely putting on some moves early, but Robbillard's really closing in on Jake. That gap's come down to 2/10.
Yeah, Jackson Robillard, who won at the Isle of Man last time out. We've got an American 1-2. We can't have that, lads. Come on, step it up a bit.
On Scooby.
That's the end of the first lap. Running some decent speed. And the Robillard in the Ferrari and Jake in the Jag. Now, Jake's going to have disc brakes. Robillard's got drum brakes, as this looks like it might be an overtake for the lead.
Yeah, side by side of the pair. Jackson Robillard keeping to the right-hand side and just literally flies past Jake as if he's standing still a little bit there, but that's quite a surprise. But yeah, to have drum and disc brakes on respective cars, I mean, I would think that the Jaguar would probably have the better run in the braking zones with those disc brakes.
We might see it catch up here as they slow up. But in general, the Ferrari has got the top speed. We noticed that at Longford and also at Spa, the Ferraris had the upper hand. At Longford, most of the Ferraris had issues, so the Jag ended up winning that. But it was basically the Ferrari show at Spa, and the Ferrari also won at the Isle of Man. So it's all adding up, and that is Ascari Cantonen now on the back of Jackson Robillard. But expect that Ferrari to pull away in a minute.
Yeah, I think through the twistiest stuff here at Dundrod that Ascari's going to have the better handling. He's been throwing that car, that Maserati A6 GCS, like nobody's business. But that's one bit. I was wondering whether there was going to be someone with a few, maybe at least the front axle, as Bugier goes completely 4 wheels into the air of the Gordini. That's brilliant stuff. Just to see, they're pushing over best part of 120, 125 miles an hour. A brief yellow out in sector 1. Well, that's come out again. But Bugier in the 217 running in the lead of the 3 litre class ahead of the 279 of Nigelson by about 1.1 seconds. So the Gordini doing the business in the 3 litre class.
think they're just coming through Cochrane's Town now, and then the next right hand will be Quarterlands, followed by Islands, and that's where we saw. Actually, no, that's the corner there. But I think that's the corner that the Guy Martin had his accident at. So it's going to be quite a fast little section from here on out, down towards Wheelers and the Lindsay Hairpin and all that stuff. So this is where the likes of Canton and those guys are going to be losing out to the 5 litres, as we see Bergier having a sniff of double rainbow in the background. It's quite pretty. As looking through the S-bends, and overtakes happening all over the place.
Yeah, we've also had another DNF Aiden as well. Isidoro Janaqui has just DNF. There's also cars pitting for damage repairs, so there's that yellow in sector 1. Oh, who's that going very, very wide?
Yeah, I think that car's got damaged because it's staying right over on the right-hand side. Yellow in sector 1. As Real Deal God, as I'm assuming that's his real name, into 5th place in 5 litre.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, still props to Oscar de Cantonen for keeping Jake and Jackson Robillard very, very honest, despite the fact there being 3 litres differential in displacement between the 2 cars in front and the one behind.
Cantonen, I think that is probably the fastest way of getting through that corner on this tyre model, but everybody up behind, there hasn't been a shunt at that hairpin, touch wood, so everyone's still holding on and being quite well behaved as they begin the run down through as we're going to get a replay of what happened to Isidoro, I believe. Here we go. That's Cantonen.
Flying through shots with the greatest of ease.
Another yellow in sector 1 has been brought out. We'll have to watch what Ian is saying in Discord, because he's given us live commentary on who's ending up where, as Jake sets the fastest lap of the race. Car in the pit lane, 2 cars in the pit lane, which is, I mean, 2, that's actually quite good. If it was 6, I'd be worried. As you see, class leaders, Jake, Cantonen and Bergier, just approaching the 10-minute mark. Whoa, that's wide. That's very wide.
That was Jake.
Is he alive? He's not alive. He's gone.
Oh, no,
that's Robillard, I think.
Oh, well, that was
that?
I thought
no,
it was that was the number 200, I believe. There.
Okay, so that's
Liam Dolan.
Liam Dolan.
As Robbillard's lost the left.
Now he's lost it. New neck, please.
A new change of underwear to boot. Robillard, oh, that was gnarly right there. I think probably because the 200, that was Liam Dolan in the Aston Martin DB3S in the 3 litre class. So Liam's a DNF and Jackson is now a DNF. So what that means, folks, is Ascari Cantonen is going to try and see if he can reel in. It's going to be a tall order, but he's got an hour and 50 minutes to do it to get past Jake for the race lead overall.
I think he's going to have a very hard job of doing it on pace alone, given the run from Leathamstown Corner all the way up to Cochrane's Town is flat out. That's where we see the track sort of go up over the top and then down the hill again as we get a replay. This will be of Isidoro.
Oh,
full kangaroo down the straight, and I do apologise for the just our factor 2 things, to be honest. And Iona Albuquerque saying, does that mean he's not coming on then? No, he's had his neck snapped and has ended up in a field.
Yeah. And it's all Skippy's fault.
Yeah.
Oh, another yellow out, and there's a car actually ahead of the leaders that has gone off.
But look how close Cantonen is, even in the straight line here.
Yeah.
Slipstream might pull him along.
Especially with the fact that the VMAX between both cars is about 30 miles an hour. The Jag having the legs when it can push the best part of nearly 180 miles an hour, and the Maserati, in its own respect here, Aiden, top speed is about 235 kilometers an hour, which is close to, which is around about 150, 155 or so. But yeah, that slipstream's really working in the favour of Oskar Kantonen right now. Another yellow out in Sector 1. God, they're dropping like flies at the minute.
Yeah, it was Frank Verplanken, apparently, that was going a little bit slow, according to our spotter. We're trying to do our best to keep up, trying to learn the layout of the track and also figure out who's there. Erwan Bergier, leading overall in the 2-litre class, so that ahead of him is a 3-litre class car. Going to start moving up the overall standings as we have done about 12 minutes of this race, and everything's happening at the minute. It's a Real Deal God, so that's it's a 5-litre class that's in front of him.
So 5 versus 3. Oh, crikey. But the Gordini's really showing some good prowess around this track as well, I think.
Yeah, close to getting to those banks as well. It's an inch too far, and that thing's flipping like Robillard did. They sound so good as well as they come up towards the hairpin. Real Deal God managing to keep Bergier in behind.
Nice little rumble as he hit the throttle coming out of the hairpin there too.
Now we'll see the 5-litre class probably pull away, but slipstream exists. Nowhere near as powerful as it would be in a modern car with aero appendages coming off every perceivable corner of the vehicle. You can just see the power, the speed and power taking over. But then that 3-litre class car will catch up in the corners.
Yeah, Bergier actually had a little bit of a moment, I think, just a second ago, about 3 corners but back, as Real Deal God is right up the back bumper of somebody else as they're about to cross the line for another lap completed. That's the 165. This is going to be a running joke now. Yellow's out in Sector 1, and it's out again. And Ascari is up to 2nd overall, but still leading the 2-litre class. But yeah,
well,
they've got a battle
that 165 is Benjamin Lakazi.
Yeah.
Who's currently 2nd. Oh, Real Deal God loses out there. So yeah, Benjamin Lakazi is running 2nd in class, but I think he's 3rd on track. So that makes Real Deal God going from 4th down to 5th. So Mantis in the pit lane as we get a replay queued up. See what happened here. Okay, this is Jackson Robillard. Oh, sorry, not Jackson Robillard. This is the prelude to Jackson Robillard. That was Kantonen getting out of the way, I think.
And that was Liam Dolan that actually cut across Robillard, and that's why he got 3 wheels on the wagon. You can see the sparks flying from the left front, hits the bank, and onto the deck he goes.
I know it's a virtual driver and a virtual car, but that still makes me wince. The Mighty D has DNF'd. So that was a 2-litre car. Qualified 15th overall, so we're losing drivers all over the place at the minute.
So we did have 39 starters. We're now down to 31. I think 31, 32. Drivers still out on circuit. Zaganitis has ended up in the pits at the number 169. The Lagonda DP 115, 5th in the 5-litre class. Possibly that's for damage as well. And again, Bergier flirting with the size of the road there. Again.
Well, if you give racing drivers an inch, they'll take a mile, won't they? As Jake flies down the hill and up the other side, followed by Kantonen. So for an overall 2nd place for Kantonen, that would be incredible. As Scooby inherits the 5th place that's just been vacated by Mantis.
Oh,
see
God,
the gap already, 115 seconds.
What?
Between Morea and Scooby.
And our spotter has just said that Ian Etheridge is pitting in, another one with 3 wheels on the wagon.
I think that might be the cue for people to start slowing down a little bit.
Yes.
Simon Freilich, that's a name that I've been seeing a lot of recently in R-Factor 2. It's great to see him here, and that's the other good thing about with we were talking about the likes of Enzo Fazzi and Nico Hillebrand and Jone Simoncic is that the the guys that do a lot of the top level rFactor 2 championships like Formula Pro, Formula Challenge, FSR, and all of that stuff.
Yep.
You'd think they would turn up, take it super, super seriously, do millions and millions of laps, and then just run away with it. And that hasn't been the case. They've turned up, they're having a laugh, it's all banter, and they're just here to have some fun because it's, let's be honest, it's different. You know, there's so much GT3 stuff out there, there's so much endurance stuff out there. Nobody's really done this, and certainly nobody's ever done a proper time trial in rFactor 2, and this has had so much hype around it. A lot of people have been talking about it, a lot of people are definitely interested in it. So to see the pro esports guys turn up and have fun, even better.
With a big smile on their face for good measure. I mean, that's the whole point of something like this, where we take it back to the old days of yesterday, you know, bring back the old circuits and these lovely sounding cars as well, where they're not going to have, as you said rightly, Aiden, that, you know, there's no aerodynamics. It's just pure grunt, pure bravado, and just see how hard you can fling it into the corners without cracking.
Speaking of flinging it in, the Tramsen flinging it in. Wild Chase. Oh, that's Real Deal God, beached on the side of the road. Needs to call the AA and get that pulled out. Other breakdown services are available, of course. The Tramsen 4th in the 3 litre class, chasing down some guys as Stolzer. Again, Kasper Stolzer, another top name in rFactor 2 racing, sets the fastest time in the 4 litre class. Sorry, not 4 litre, 3 litre class with a 4:20. Nice. No.
You're going to burn out the clutch on that Real Deal God. You certainly are.
I think someone needs to come along and give him a bit of a nudge. I think you're stuck, mate.
Yeah. So like that ain't going nowhere.
It's smoking as well. That's.
Yeah.
It's like Grand Theft Auto. You can press enter to get out of the car and push it.
Or maybe,
Motorsport Games, if you're listening, code that in.
Maybe with an RAC period vehicle as well to assist.
RAC DLC 2099. Make it happen.
I mean, we could see that every time we see it and it's still there, this is going to be the running joke. This will probably be even playing into the highlights as well. Just been informed that Darren Andrews has just spun going into the pits. That's an open pit lane, very much like in the style of when Ford were against Ferrari in the mid '60s, where the pit lane is actually on the outside of the start finish straight to the right hand side. And Real Deal God, that ain't going nowhere, sunshine.
I mean, fair play to him for trying to get it out. I would love it if someone just came along and just went bonk and knocked him back on, but just going to take a sizable whack to knock it back off the. What was that? Was it like Need for Speed Underground where you got like experience points for driving close to the traffic? That's what just happened. Like something like a burnout.
Yeah. You get like an extra 10 points of nitrous for doing that.
It's moving.
He's getting there.
A bit better than it was.
He's angled that steering wheel to as full right hand down on that Jag.
I mean, I saw someone in an iRacing Formula 3.5 race get beached on the sausage curb at Monza after he went full Senna into the second chicane. But he's almost there. Come on. Give it some. We'll check back in on him later. Right, Owen Bergier, still leading in his class. Yellow in Sector 1 once again. I don't know if that's because of the Real Deal God. But Real Deal God still in 5th, even though he's beached. So that's... Okay, he's overall 23rd. That might explain things. Jose Drives has just taken 5th place from Real Deal God there. So Real Deal God's still stuck at the side of the road. Ariel Diaz has DNF'd. Just getting it's like watching the Vidi printer on the final score with all this coming in. Mantosoft track has 3 wheels. That's so that's going to be another DNF because I don't think you can fix that.
That's probably why we got the yellow out to Sector 1 again. More people having 3 wheels on their wagons.
There he is. Sparks flying. If he's in the right spot, could give Real Deal God that little bit of a knock that puts him back onto the track. As GP Laps sets the fastest time in 5 litres. There's the wheel, or a wheel. Oh, there's someone else off
there's
there.
a car up. I've just seen a car in front. That looks like a Gordini. Oh, that's...
Oh, it's the same spot.
Ah, right. I was just trying to pick out that number. Was that probably Benjamin Lakazi?
I think it was. That's what's just come through. And he's out. Finally,
hey!
He's got it off.
He's had an assist.
Did Lakazi knock him back into the right place? If so...
Yeah, but look, can you see there's a wheel in the front suspension arm as well? Lakazi has gone off at the same point. Look, he's just mounted the grassy verge on the inside, and he's got 3 wheels on that wagon. He probably was trying to think, I'm going to take it nice and serenely through this corner. Oh no!
Is that Jack damaged?
Yes.
He was near the end of the lap anyway, so he can get that fixed and carry on. So that's all good. He's still in the race.
Oh, there's been a smash in the pit lane. Oh, wallop straight in, as my good friend Dave Goddard would say.
This is fantastic.
Come for a Saturday afternoon drive in the countryside here at the Historic Road Racing Club. You'll have fun. You might even lose a wheel or 2.
That's the longest skid mark I've seen in R Factor 2 right there. To be fair though, they've all got a lot further than I would have done.
But coming on to more pressing matters, I mean, Jake still has got Oscar Cantonen, and Cantonen's still keeping with him. That's a great run by the 332. Old Sim Mad Paul has just had a bit of a whoopsie.
He's pulled off to the side of the road. Still going though. Lakazi in the pit lane. Celebrations happening in production chat that Real Deal is free. It's only an hour and a half in. I know it's with half the race done. There is still half the race to go.
I was going to say, whoever was in front of Sim Mad Paul just literally just yeeted it over that crest of the hill. That was the 363 of Mamsak, just going all 4 wheels, airborne, another yellow out in sector 1. Oh, the gag is never going to get old with that. Yellow in... Yeah, which yellow? Yeah, yellow in sector 1.
Might as well just leave it up. Was it the Nordschleife 1 year? It was permanent yellow flags at Flugplatz or something, because it was just... Because people were... went off.
Mamsak's...
He's off.
Yeah.
I think he's steering should be alright after that, I think.
Yeah, it looks to be okay at the moment.
Kazi's still waiting for new tie rods on that car.
Alan Etheridge has just DNF. That's another casualty after a bit of a shunt.
I think we're better off putting up an overall standings screen rather than the class standings, because everything's so over the place we can't really keep track at the minute.
Yep, 100% agree there.
Through the magic of technology. There we go.
Hey!
It's 2.2 to Canton. Well, it's coming down now because they're probably in a tight section. Martin Bayer, 8th overall. He's in behind Morea. So again, we've got the 3 litre on the back. Oh, he's overcooked it. 3 litre. Ariel Diaz tumbling down the timing screens there because he's out. But there you can see all your retirements there at the bottom. But Martin Bayer in a 3 litre chasing down a 5 litre, showing how the cars are all over the place here. all the cars driving in sort of period correct colours, as it were. So you've got Martin Bayer in because he's German, driving the Silver Arrow, as it were. But you can pick manufacturer colour of the country the car is from. So Ferrari might be red, but you can have it in the colours of the manufacturer. So like red for Ferrari, but even have like the colours of your city or area or something like that on there. But yeah, just to keep everything in line. But no sponsors, no nothing, no fantasy liveries. It's all we're doing full roleplay here.
So, at one point, I just saw the gap between Jake and Oscari, Aiden, drop to less than a second. But now that Jake's got on the good old loud pedal, right foot, it's extended up to well over double that now. But that's Morea just up ahead in the 170s. So, for those wondering with the class allocations, as Bai just slingshots it through, locks up the brakes, and still keeps in front. That was a nice little move there from Morea, from Bai there on Morea. So neatly done. But for those wondering about the class colours, the yellow is for the 5 litre, green, the bright green, or fluoro green as I'm going to call it, that's for the 2 litres, and the 3 litres are the blue stripes on the left-hand side of the timing tower, just for reference for everyone at home.
And we've got all 3 classes on the podium.
Hey!
So we've got a TV shot of Jake Ascari on board below, getting past some lap traffic, which I think that's actually on 3 wheels. So that's another one. Hot air balloon as well. Looks so good. And they actually move around the map as well. It's amazing.
And then with the onboard from Ascari Canton, and we go from nice wide open countryside to a row of trees, one on each side.
Gap up to 4.1 seconds, so did Ascari have an issue, or is that just a very fast part of the track? Yeah, true. I don't know why I'm speaking over the thing. They can't hear Daniel. So. Oh dear.
Are we going to see the Canton sideways flick very shortly as Jake makes his way into the hairpin? And Ascari. Jake tries to outdo Ascari and nearly hits the barrier with the left rear.
Well, I think he was doing, was it drifting, where the closer you get to the wall, the more points you get?
There's another car with 3 wheels on that wagon.
Oh my goodness. Oh, this is a good shot. It's like going into the hairpin at the end of Sweet Lamb on Dirt Rally. As he does go full Dirt Rally. I wonder if he knew that we were on him. And it's just like, I am going to drift.
I am going to put it sideways for you folks at home.
He watches the movie Taxi once. The 3rd overall for Bourguet. First in that class. Stolzer in behind. And there is Stolzer in his Danish Mercedes. Carried a lot of speed through there, so they have a little bit more grip. Oh, that's Mantas. He's on 3 wheels again. He's already had to stop once for repairs, so the Estonian not having a lot of fun out there at the minute.
It's a slow old trundle back to pit lane. I hate to think what the virtual invoice will be for drivers that have got not just wheels but also uprights on the left front.
They'll all be used on the DeLoreans about 30 years from now.
True. Yeah, we found another one. Oh, yeah, here's another one. Oh, sideways
slide.
there in the Gordini.
I wonder how much rubber was on the track as well, because with our Factor 2, with its dynamic railroad system, the more you drive on a specific part of the track, it rubbers up what you've driven on. So you can drive all the way around the outside of the banking at Daytona and rubber that up, and then you can drive on the like the inside will rubber up that bit as well. So I don't know if they started on a green track or they used a preset or something like that, but that's sliding about a bit. I mean, they don't have the grip that a modern car does, but interesting to see what the actual rubber was like on the. If we can get that put somewhere as well, just to see how they're doing that, or they're just winging it, or any of that.
Probably on a bit of a wing and a prayer, Aiden, I think. Just like, yeah, let's just go flat, chat, foot to the floor. You know, 200, 140, 145 miles an hour. Yep, sideways, love it.
Like that.
The mad Paul, Addy.
Oh no! No! No!
Whee! That was Mamsak who got through there. And the 363. I think Sam Mad Paul was just a bit too over-eager. He thought, yep, I've got it. No, I don't got it.
Mamsak will need to pit now for a toilet break, I think, after that, because
yeah,
that was close. Good
toilet
thing,
break
good thing the net code in our Factor 2 is pretty good. Apparently there's a stat that's just come through as well that Mantis has done more laps on 3 wheels than he has on 4.
Oh, God. Oh, dearie me.
But fair play to him for trying. Kubo has overshot a corner, still has all 4 wheels, which is... So Mantas has just reached the pit lane, so he'll get that fixed. That's going to be a long time sat there. Looking at Simon Frelick now in the 2-litre class, 5th overall. This is turning out like Le Mans 2017, where 5 litres have all had so many issues. We've got the slower classes right up there. I think Morea might be able to get back up the order overall, maybe into the top 6 later on. As Rajasu here in 18th overall, he's choosing number 218. Another car in Finnish colours, doing a slightly different approach to Kantonen.
Going with the old Martini style, I'd say.
Yeah.
Love a bit of Martini retro livery.
Martini colours look good on anything.
Yeah.
So while Kantonen's gone for the full flag, Rajasu's taken a slightly different approach. Whether that was actually the Finnish national racing colours, or if it was, or if it's like maybe the colours of Helsinki, or wherever it is the Moomins come from. I can't remember.
Did you just say Moomins?
I did say the Moomins. So Beninka catching up to the car ahead. Looks great in that. I mean, it's just like so out there. Bright yellow, bright green. He's chasing down Silberwolf, so there's about 1.7 to the car ahead. You see the gaps there. Stolzer in the pit lane, hoping that's a scheduled stop.
Yeah, funny enough, I've been looking up the old historic colours from back in the day. That Finland's actual base colour was white, so. And it'd be 2 blue stripes on a bonnet, shaping a Latin cross would be the normal run back in the day in the 50s for Finland.
Kantonen might have burned out some of those tyres. Although one thing that Jake has said about that Jag is that when the fuel's wearing down, the car becomes much nicer to drive, so maybe he's got a little bit more confidence in the car to start pulling away. So Cantonen, really, you'd think he's going to have to be hoping for Jake to make some sort of mistake here. But to be holding it there, you know, he had pole position for the race. And is still hanging there in second, ahead of a faster class car as well. He's 31 seconds ahead of the next car. So those two, pretty much a solid first and second. Oh, kissing the grass verge on the exit. Lost so many drivers over the course of the first sort of half an hour or so. It's been a crazy race, hasn't it, Alex?
Yeah, more three wheels on the on those wagons that you can probably shake a stick at. Sinmad Paul's got himself pointing the right direction rather than going sideways, as we saw a few moments ago. But oh, these cars just sound glorious. That rumble of that Aston Martin DB3S.
It just makes a nice sound engine as well. If it gets upgraded, this mod ever gets updated to the new sound engine, it's going to sound even better.
Well, just a bit of news, Aidan. Mantis is out of the pits with 4 wheels, and then the words in brackets for now.
For now. That's harsh, man.
Oh, dearie me.
Well, Jake overshot the hairpin as well, by the looks of things.
Yeah, Scari's made up a couple of seconds, I think. The gap was at one point sort of the best part of just over 5 seconds, and now that gap, well, Jake's managed to stretch the legs on the...
Coming down again, though. It's coming down a lot, to be fair.
Yeah. It's definitely been one of those races, Aidan, where it's like
that'll be why.
You've DNF'd. Yeah.
It's turning out like an episode of Oprah Winfrey. It's like, you lose a wheel, you lose a wheel, everybody loses a wheel.
Yeah. Yeah, you get a DNF, you get a DNF.
Oh, it looks like Jake's having major issues with his button box. Can't change strategy, but the crew is ready though. Real Deal God and Slappy had a battle, and Real Deal was bouncing off the berms.
Probably off the bumps, I think.
Bumps, yeah. Here's Doc Slappy. Home race for him. Green and orange Irish flag. It's quite a nice car, actually.
I mean, even with the fact that the liveries are quite basic in terms of the colours that you can use, but just a little bit of creativity goes a long way, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like you could have a British Racing green Jag, and I'd probably have a black, white and red stripe on mine for the Black Country colours, or something similar like that. So you can really go to, I say, you can really go to town. But even with you're limited to solid colours and speed stripes, there is still no limit to what you can pull off.
Oh, this is a lovely onboard shot. Really wonderful. Just giving us an idea of how small the room for overtaking is around this circuit. This is absolutely phenomenal. And just to see the probably the brightest, greenest bonnet on a car, I think, out like the entire field from Doc Slappy. And look how close he gets to the grass verges on the inside of that right-hand kink he's just gone through. Now into the left, down the hill where the car's going to gather speed. Now it's a sweeping right, up another incline, and then a nice little bit of foot to the floor action with a gradual left-hand kink. But there's a little bit coming up here where they're going to go back underneath the trees. And you can still hear that Doc Slappy here, Aidan, has not lifted.
No. Probably had a shot of Jameson's before the race just to loosen up. As Bourdie's out of the race. Bourdieu is out.
Oh dear. And that means that Mr. Bayer is now in the lead of the 3 litre class.
Canton and Freilich first and second overall at the minute. With I mean, Jake's out the pit lane now, so he'll make all that time back up. He's 8.2 behind Bayer at the minute. So he's Scooby in Dutch orange, flying along. He's going to overtake the Brazilian car pretty easily. I think with that Doc Slappy car as well, who is actually a doctor, it turns out. We could start like green screening some Pepe memes on that at some point, just to try and just for added comedy. But that sucks for Bergier to be out of the race, and he was doing so well.
That Gordini was absolutely flying in the hands of the French driver, but this is another shot I like, where you actually get it from right by the driver's position on the left-hand side. The driver leading forward, leading to the left, leading to the right, steering into the corners. It's just wonderful getting these different camera angles, thanks to our production director, Daniel Costello. I mean, he was showing me some of this beforehand. I was like thinking, this is going to be one of those broadcasts where you just think, it's going to be about banter, but to get these period vehicles in the 1950s just rumbling around these old school tracks, it's just wonderful to see.
This will be a replay of Bergier. Oh, it's overcooked it and hit the world's most solid barbed wire fence. Destructible scenery when?
Never.
But like you say, it is something that a load of people have wanted to get on. There is the interest in the classic cars. I mean, they are still quite a niche type of thing, and people want DLC for classic cars to come every quarter now with rFactor 2. But we had the minis come last time, and they're so much fun to drive. Watching those old Mini Coopers and you just throwing those around Brands Hatch Indy or Donington or one of the shorter British tracks. There could be potential for a championship with those at some point, which would be amazing to watch. But these are the sort of cars that a lot of people, like the enthusiasts, will drive offline, and then they'll actually race them against other people, and it's like, oh, maybe these things are like more difficult to drive than I thought. As we see Rajasu chasing somebody down for another position here.
Yeah, that is for what looks to be 17th overall. Rajasu in the Gordini T24S, about 0.3 of a second behind, and Ascari has just done his normal service pit stop, and he's out of the pits ahead of Simon Frelick. Rajasu has made the move. That was on the 374 car, Fly-By Night in the Maserati 3 litre. So Rajasu had a real good amount of momentum carry, and through into the shot comes the 160 of Jose Drives in the Ferrari 375 Emilia Emilia 5 litre car. But there's Ascari, and there's Simon Frelick not too far behind, another yellow out in sector 1. Does that mean Frelick's on the wagon of... Yep, Frelick's gone off. And as I said that, he was getting closer and closer. And they're both in the same class as well. They're both running, I think if I remember correctly, the Simon Frelick, what was he running? I think he's running the Maserati as well, isn't he?
I think, yeah, 2 litres basically the Maserati car. Yep, Simon Frelick, Maserati, A6 GCS. And then Cantonin also in the Maserati. 2 litres. And there's a couple of Bristol 450s on there as well. Darren Andrews, Isidoro driving the Bristol. But yeah, it is pretty much the Maserati car. But it just shows the dominance of Cantonin in that class, that he was able to pit and still get out in front of Frelick.
Yeah, it's getting a bit closer though between the top 4. That's about 20 seconds. I mean, Jake's closing in on Bayer at a comfortable rate of knots, gap now down to about 8.8. There's going to be 8.4 seconds at the moment, but when Jake gets on the loud pedal in that Jag, he's going to blast past Bayer like he's standing still, considering Bayer's in a 3 litre, Jake is in a 5 litre. That grunt of that Jag has just been absolutely mighty, especially when we saw the start and the best part of over 45 minutes ago, Aidan, where Cantonin got a good jump, but then Jake was literally past him, and so was also Robillard. They jumped him in the start phase, and Cantonin's just comfortably just kept on doing what he's needed to do. He's running his own race, He thought, well, I've got an opportunity to get over a race win. Will this be the first time this season that a 2 litre will have won a race overall, Aid?
It might be. If Jake's having those problems with his button box and things like that, but between Lethamstown Corner and Cochranstown, maybe Quarterlands as well, that's where the 5 litres are going to catch right up to the other classes. 2 litres might have a little bit of an advantage in sort of like the first part of the first sector and the sort of the latter part of the third sector, because that's where it does get a bit twisty. So there's going to be points where he won't catch up as fast as he would want, but he'll get there eventually, as there's your class leaders, Canton and Bayer and Jake, which is pretty much how you'd expect it to be by now. It's Nikolai Bogatriev. There's a three-way battle. Seeing some Russian colours on the grid. So we've got the Dutch, the Russians, and the Brazilians. That's a combo I never thought I'd ever say.
Yeah, and in 1950s machinery, more dramas for Real Deal God though, folks. He spun it on the pit straight. Whoops! First bank, the first beach it's like a great whale. Gets an assist from Lakazi, who ends up tearing off the front suspension and the wheel in the process, whilst going off and gives him a tap. So yeah, Real Deal God not having the greatest run, despite having at some point being in the top 3 in the 5 litre class, and he's actually
And then there being a 4-way scrap in a minute. Oh, almost. And we've actually managed to reverse the classes as well. 2 litre, 3 litre, 5 litre. That'll sort itself out in a minute.
Yeah, just because Ascani's leading the race overall by 4.8 seconds ahead of Simon Frelick. But you know, to see, as you said, the 2 litre class is definitely the Maserati, and it's the A6 GCS Cup.
I think that's because the Bristols have all crashed. And
yeah,
Real Deal God isn't actually in the pit lane. That's a thing that happens on occasion. Yeah. If it was blue, then yes, he would still be in the pit lane, but he's not in the pit lane. That will sort itself out once we've refreshed the timing screen. So Kipper is in the pit lane currently. As you see the overall standings there. So Jake now 5.7 behind Bayer. So he's getting there. I'll close down a bit. Bayer's actually pulling away. What's happening to Jake? He's dropping time to him.
Oh,
another mistake maybe? He was losing time, but then it went up and then it came back down again. And now it's, unless it's just the timing screen as we get the inevitable yellow in sector 1 again. There he is.
You know, one of the things I love about these Jaguar D-types, Aiden, that big old shark fin on the back of it behind the driver. Giving it the beans coming out of the corner. Dust? What's that?
We're not even an hour in. So Sinmad Paul has just made a stop. Silwolf's in the pit lane. Got Eduardo Beninca chasing down Woodcock here. And then Bogatyrev in behind that. So still that 3-way scrap. There was a Real Deal chasing them down.
Feels like the World Cup, doesn't it? Like a World Cup semi-final, the Netherlands versus Brazil.
But no Italy.
True.
Imagine losing to North Macedonia.
Oh, dearie me. That'd be a talking point, wouldn't it?
think that never happened. Oh, wait, it did.
I've just noticed by Beninka's driving style that he's using all of the tarmac and then a little bit of grass and a bit of dust just to try and keep it going through the corners. Brazilian's absolutely hanging the tail end out on that car.
Does it again?
In the Gordini.
Oh, someone else has gone too deep into that corner.
Did someone do a Captain Slow? That was definitely a Mr. Bayer moment right there. It was like exit stage left. It's like, oh, yeah, missed the braking point. Whoops.
But you can actually boil the brakes in these cars, so...
that was real deal God. Oh, no. Beached, spun it on the pit straight, and now off into a field. What's next? They do say the bad thing.
He's going to need a stiff drink after this, I think.
Oh, yeah. And it won't be a single. It won't be a single malt. It might be a double malt.
Green and purple looks like the Aston Martin from last year, doesn't it?
True.
Well, pink. Bayer in the pit lane. That's Jake back into third place. 13.7 behind Freilich. So he's lost so much time with that pit stop problem that he had. Slidey boy. Now we have the Ukrainian colours on screen.
Hey.
Always good to see Vladimir. Hope that everything's okay for you over there at the minute. He's looking like he's going to try and put a move on somebody in a minute. See all the way into the distance the rest of the track as well. So it's amazing how much detail is in this track. Should be able to get the slipstream. Going through the next right-hander might be a bit tricky though. A little bit of air.
Ooh. Yeet.
I think this is the fastest point of the track. So if the guy ahead's got a bigger engine, he's going to pull away.
That's Toby Johnson in the 3-litre class, Mercedes-Benz 300 SL. Actually was the lowest placed of our 40 pre-qualifiers. And just heard that Richard Woodcock in the Mercedes-Benz 300 SL in the 203 entry has just gone off.
I did see him lose a couple of places. I didn't realise he'd gone off as, again, the yellows come out in Sector 1. The tram's announced.
Oh, and that was one of the that was the second highest placed Gordini.
Can't park there, mate.
I'm waiting for me mates. They're coming out the train station in a minute.
I'm just waiting for a mate. I think he might be able to get that car going again because he hasn't escaped yet. So unless he's waiting for traffic to go by him and wait for a clean slot to pull back out, but I've not seen him out the race yet. Yellows in, out, shaking them all about.
Do the hokey cokey, and Richard Woodcock is a DNF now.
Indeed.
Oh,
We'll still called off again. At the hairpin this time.
Oh, dearie me.
It's still going though, so we can't fault him for this. As Lawrence de Soswa would say, never rage quit. And he hasn't. He's in 25th, but he might still... Oh, that's a big block up. He might actually still end up with points at the end of all this if he's if he ends up finishing even down there, because he'll get class points. Whoa, see ya.
Oh, that was was that the 374?
374.
That was. Oh, dearie me. That was a big Code Brown moment right there. That was Sly by Night.
Well, Scary almost wiped himself out on that.
Dearie me.
So a few near misses for Ascari. Haven't like. I think he'll need to buy a Euro Millions ticket after this, because the amount of luck he's had.
Oh, you know what? We're probably going to have an HRRC meme at the end of this all. Yellow in Sector 1, yellow in Sector 1. Lakazi's in the wall, off in the walls, and DNF'd. And that was the 165 5-litre Jaguar D-Type, who was 5th in pre-quali. Oh, and that was after, what was it? He lost the upright and the wheel on the left front, whilst assisting Real Deal God to get out of the beached position.
In terms of entertainment, this has been the best race of the season.
I'm glad I jumped on board for this one then.
Spa was good. This is even better. As we see a replay of... Oh, this is in the Tramsen. Oh, that's the worst place. So basically what happened there, ladies and gentlemen, is he hit the concrete of the bridge.
And that was the place where Sim Mad Paul had his massive Tokyo Drift moment and nearly put the front end into the wall.
Gap between Frederick and Jake, 11.1 seconds. So that gap is slowly coming down, I think. Unless I've missed something. Just see cars coming through the hairpin here. The original hairpin was a little bit further along, according to Wikipedia.
Still a lovely shot, though.
Yeah, it's almost like something out of a rally game, isn't it?
As you were alluding to earlier with Sweet Lamb.
Well, Jake does do historic rally stuff as well, so maybe he could drive his little escort at Sweet at some point for one of those rallies. Brilliant to watch.
Good battle here for 10th, though.
Silverwolf and Manchak just coming over the start line here. "13 cars out, apparently."
Oh, crikey. We had one non-starter as well, so effectively
14, yeah.
Yep. So that's 26 cars still going.
So we just crossed the halfway mark.
That's flown by. That really has.
Yeah, told you it would.
Yeah, you're right.
Now watch Targa Florio is the complete opposite. Frank for planking spun and stalled it. There's an oh no.
That's ominous.
Rajasu hit Frank.
Oh no! Oh dearie me. The props to Silverwolf here on Manchak. That slipstream's really working for that 2 litre.
They're both the same class, so
Yeah.
this is down to driver and setup.
Oh, another 2 DNFs. Rajasu and Frank have both DNF'd on the spot after that incident.
Yeah, it says Frank spun and stalled it after being hit by Rajasu, so we'll try and get a replay of that if Daniel isn't too busy trying to find other stuff that's happened. We're making sure we get our money's worth today.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Try and keep on this battle for a little bit longer.
I've actually got a question to the folks out there. Do you think we're going to be less than 20 cars by the end of this race? We've still got 58 minutes to go. Could that happen? I mean, with the amount of yellows in Sector 1. Oh! Silver Wolf right on the back bumper of Mamshak there. Nearly got through. This is way too close to call here, Aiden. This is brilliant.
I'm trying to work out how you actually do a poll on YouTube chat.
Silver Wolf is through. I think we've got Mantis just behind them in the Jag. Mantis in the Lagonda. That's a name you don't hear of every day. Now Silver Wolf is pulling away from Mamshak to the tune of about just over 4/10, so great little dice for the past few moments there, but still through the twisty stuff. The two Maseratis keeping each other very, very honest indeed.
Oh, there we go. I figured out how to do it. So we've got a poll going at least.
Ah, brilliant.
It's currently yes. 100%. Oh no, it's gone down to 80. I'll keep that up for about another 10 minutes or so and see what happens. Well, Iona Albuquerque reckons we'll have fewer than 10.
Oh,
But she loves carnage, so...
Well, that says it all then.
Oh, this is weird. I've got my actual live stream on my one monitor, and then I've got the vMix call on another monitor. One is running at 30 frames a second, one's running at 60 frames a second. It just looks so weird. But this shows how much Isganatis has been in and out of trouble, that he's still behind a driver that hasn't finished. So he'll be back sort of in the right part of the timing screens, but it's not the race he would have wanted to have today.
I have to say, I've actually got the your YouTube stream open at the moment with the live chat. SC. Oh.
Oof.
Oh.
Deja vu. Oh, so his broadside. Oh, so he's spun and stalled that. And here comes the train. Choo choo. Dead.
Yeet. And Frank lost a wheel. Rajasu lost a wheel and the suspension upright.
He would have lost a lot more in real life. Oh, I've just seen it on the stream catching up.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are the sort of cars where the crumble zone is your face.
Yeah. I think, new fastest lap of the race. 4 minute 13.7 from Oscar de Kantonen. That is less than 6/10 off his pole lap time for the race itself.
That's Jake's pole lap. Well, Jake's
pole lap.
Well, Jake's qualifying time.
Yeah.
This guy's an animal.
I have to say the best comment so far in your YouTube chat at the moment is SC Swash. I like to imagine that these onboards have had a camera operator jump on board and are hanging on for dear life with their cameras.
Well, they did, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Sometimes, yeah.
And then Mighty Mouse going, Aiden and Alex doing the commentary from the hot air balloons.
No.
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 It's just like, we prefer to be on terra firma. Thank you very much.
Saying that, I used to fly gliders, planes with no engines.
Oh God, yeah.
But still, I'm strapped into one of those. On board with your race leader, Askari Kantonen. Jake has made his way into second place again, so Freilich has pitted. I'm starting to believe that Askari can win this, you know? But then he's still got to pit again, so
yeah,
pit stops are going to be where it happens. So if Jake's having issues, that's going to lose him a little bit of time. But apparently he managed to sort it all out, because in R-Factor 2, what you have to do is you have to press a button to request the pit stop, and then it's determined by the mod, and then somewhere between like sort of 10 and 30 seconds later, it'll say crew is ready for pit stop. So you come in, if you're driving a Formula 1 car, your pit stop will probably be about, what, 3 seconds long. If you don't request the pit stop and just pull in, your pit crew's not ready, so that pit stop will take 6 or 7 seconds. So he might end up losing time based on that. If he set the thing up properly, it might default to fill the tank back to the top, so he doesn't need to touch that. It's just losing the however many seconds it is by not requesting the pit stop that might ruin his race here. But still in the race, which is good. Kantonen still in the race, which is good. Although Jake getting back into second place overall has moved the 5 litre class up a bit, because that's just how it works. If the fastest 2 litre is faster than the fastest 5 or 3 litre, it moves everything around, it messes everything up. So that's oh, that's just my stream dying. Okay, that's not too much of a problem then. I thought Askari Kantonen was dead at the side of the road, but all good.
Good run by Kasper Stolzer here. Yeah, great run by the Dane, leading the 3 litre class ahead of Bayer by about 16 seconds. But you know, Bayer, you know, we saw him be the first one to actually get lost around the circuit. 4 other people followed suit, including Real Deal God.
Kasper Stolzer was having a dominant run at Spa when he had one of the bizarrest incidents I've ever seen commentating on a race, where he was driving along and then his something just popped up on his screen saying, "Oh, by the way, your motherboard drivers need updating," and that blocked his view, and he wrecked on the exit of the Master King. So,
oh no! Of all the places,
we ended up having about 4 different leaders in that class because people kept crashing out. But he's doing very well. Like I say, he's it's a permanent fixture, but a known fixture in the R-Factor 2 online scene. I think he might have just flashed his lights at the camera as he went past, so I don't know if he knows he's being watched or not.
Askari, you absolute animal. 4 minutes 13.484. He's getting closer to his overall pole time from qualifying. That's crazy.
Probably means he's going to be pitting soon.
Yeah.
As Jake does a 4:14.1. He's on for points in class though if he finishes. It's not going to do him any good for the overall, but he's there. Real Deal God enters the pits again.
Hopefully he didn't spin it. Oh.
That was almost an F.
Big F.
Currently the vote has 23 votes. It's 87-13 yes to no. Mamchak out the race.
Oh.
It's just popped off. Kuba rolled it, apparently. So it was an F.
What? Mm.
I just saw the dust out the corner of my eye as I was checking chat and things like that, so I didn't know he'd actually stacked it. But see Jake once again. Oh, that backfire noise.
Oh. Love a bit of unburnt fuel noises from the exhaust.
Oh, it's apparently Mamtrak ended up going off the track and falling through a hole. Crazy. Scooby in the pit lane. Seconds between Canton and Jake. So Jake should take the lead back again when the pit stops roll around.
Yeah, Scooby's doing really well in the 5 litre class because he was second in the 5 litre class, even with the controller, and he's in for a pit stop at the moment.
So once Moray pits, that will cycle it back round again. Scooby out the pit lane now. 1 minute 5 seconds. So he's 36 seconds behind, so he's definitely getting that position back at the end of the pit stop cycle. Real Deal God leaves the pit lane in dead last. Oh no, he doesn't, because Iskanitis is dead last in the middle of some of these DNFs that have come through. So what are we actually down to now in terms of runners?
24.
24. So we've got 47 minutes to lose another 12. Okay, so then we... Oh, sorry. Got 22, so we need to lose another 2 to get 20. We need to lose another 12 to get 10. Maths. In terms of on-track battles, everything's settled down a bit. There's nobody in striking distance of anybody else right now, so it's kind of just watch the cars, enjoy the noise, enjoy the scenery, and hope nobody else stacks it in the next 45 minutes or so. Just casually watching the gap between Jake and Canton. 19.6 at the minute, getting smaller. Getting a lot smaller as someone's wiped out some of the hay bales at the final corner. Well, let's say the final corner, but the hairpin. Someone's overshot that. Well, we did hear that someone like Kuba or Jake had overshot it at the hairpin earlier, so that'll be the reason why. Simon Frelick heads up towards the final part of the track. Darren Andrews fighting for position and takes that pretty easily. That's Bogatriev. He's gone past. No, hasn't it? It's Kotliarski. I'm butchering names, but Englishman butchers foreign name. What do you expect?
Standard.
There's that lap traffic ahead of him. Yeah, he's just let him through. So they. So
that was Doc Spooner. He just went past, I think.
Yes, it was. Well, Doc Slappy, isn't it? Yeah. So. It's the responsibility of the. It's not like Formula One where the lap traffic has to just dive out the way. It's just the responsibility of both cars to work together, like it is in real endurance racing.
Not in touring cars, though.
No.
That's a completely different kettle of fish altogether. We both know about that one.
Smack him out the way. Rupka Keeper. So the car X in the pits is Kotliarski. So he's got his lap back on that particular car. and that's a show of how Isganatis' race has gone. He's a lap behind the car in front. That's a fair play to him for carrying on. Finish the race. Should bag at least a point for finishing 6th in that particular class. See all the road signs for Belfast and Lisburn and places like that. Never actually been to Ireland. I probably should at some point.
I nearly ended up going to Belfast actually a little while ago. I think it was 2018. The main determining factor of me ending up commentating on a stream at Nuts Corner, I was actually at home, because that was at the point where there was a lot of bad weather in Northern Ireland, particularly around Belfast. So I went to Stansted, was due to get my flight over there. Was there for 4 hours. I thought, oh, I'll have a little bit of lunch. And then the flight drops off the boarding, and I was like, what's happened? And then I get a text message 5 minutes later, your flight has been cancelled. Oh, God. Really? And I looked on, then I looked on the news, and I was like, that's why I'm not going to be there tomorrow. I'll be at home. Oh, Martin Bayer, that was
lucky.
I think as the Germans would say, meine Güte. My God.
Watch as the YouTube chats immediately start writing, mein Gott, muss das sein?
Oh, dear. Sebastian Vettel, Ferrari, Sachs Curve, Hockenheimring. Yep.
Because
Matthew Palmer's just chimed in. 20 seems more than likely. 10 looks quite unfeasible at the moment. We've still got just over 40 minutes to go, Matthew.
Bolts is out.
Oh. So Martin Bayer has a code brown, and Casper Stolzer has a DNF. Ouch.
Really put the F into DNF. Is that for position ahead? Just trying to find it.
No, it isn't.
No,
next,
okay.
Simon Frelick's the next car up from Martin Bayer.
Ah, yes, I see now.
That's Toby Johnson again. 218 Mercedes.
Just going to blast by him here. Made nice and easy for him. .4. Gonna get his stream up and see what's happening.
Will that be running at 30 or 60 frames a second, Aiden?
It's on my main monitor, so it'll be at 60. God, it just looks so weird. There is definitely a difference between 30 and 60. Oh, it looks like Jake has damage. He's got his pit menu up and it says damage, do not repair. Whoa! See ya, Doc Slappy.
Oh,
He's going to need a chiropractor stat.
That I just clocked the number of the car. That was Simon Frelick actually. That we just went past him. Ouch! It's an understatement with that roll.
If you can flip it back onto its wheels, you might be able to carry on. Which he has. I don't think that car's running. He's probably trying to find the ignition. Oh, there we go.
Oh, he's got it going.
I stalled it again. There we go. Nobody coming. All good. Style it out. Pretend it never happened. All good.
Carry on regardless.
Yellow in sector 1 once again. As Matt Wright looks to lap some traffic here. Beninka and Bogatriev in the pit lane. Starts to slowly move it down the order.
And Jose drives. He's got 3 wheels on that wagon. That's the first time in quite a while, and he's just DNF'd. I think we're down. Doc Slappy's DNF'd as well now. I think we might be under 20. Still going.
Jake's in the pits, so that's going to give Canton an extra bit of breathing room. So Canton's effectively got a free pit stop now.
Yeah.
This could actually happen, boys. Splash and dash them.
I'll just sit here whilst you fill up the Jag.
We haven't had any Jag comments in chat yet, which is probably a new world record.
Yep. And what's more, 2 2-litre class cars in the both Maseratis in the top 3.
80-second gap. If Canton has been this good around Dundrod, what's he going to be like at Targa?
That's going to be interesting.
So that really will be playing to the strengths and weaknesses of each car, because it's twistier than Isle of Man was. This shows that Ascari was sandbagging during pre-qualifying.
It was a bit like the Rolex 24, but that's happened in previous years.
Well, Ascari pre-qualified with a 4:15.2. The next car, which was Simon Frelick, was a 4:20.1. So 5 seconds. Nearest makes no difference between first and second in that class. Conversely, Jake from Jackson was 2 seconds. The slowest of the 2-litre cars was Sal Army. That was a 4:25.3. So 10-second gap.
That's a huge amount of real estate between the 2 cars then. Ascari's just not human.
We've dropped under 20 cars. We're at 19. 84% of the YouTube poll was correct. just change that poll to say 15 then. As Kantonen makes his stop. Let's see what happens here then. I mean, it was an 80-second gap when Jake pitted, so gonna have a massive extra doubt moment that he'll overtake him here. No undercut is that powerful.
No.
Ascari's left the pit lane. Should be a comfortable lead because Jake hasn't passed the pits yet.
Jake is giving it the berries though.
One slidey boy. Passes the pit lane now. Hitting the red line as well. 30-second gap between Jake and Ascari for reference, so second a lap for the a second a minute for the next 30 minutes. Why not? I think Kantonen definitely has this now, barring some sort of accident or being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I think the magic word we're going to be looking for here is back markers, depending on how many he catches up to. But with the amount of literally detriment to the field, you know, over half of it gone, with just over 31 minutes remaining, I think Jake's got to pray for a miracle right now here, Aiden.
We've seen crazier things happen on the final lap of a race, haven't we?
Yep.
Toyota breaking down. See, you thought I was going to reference the Formula One.
No. I was thinking that as well, and I said, don't mention that ever again to Kaz Nakajima.
That's a stat I never thought I would hear.
Oh, yeah. True.
The car ahead DNF 2 laps ago and he's still not caught him. Wow. That's not because he's a terrible driver, he's just had some bad luck. Let's just make that clear.
I was going to say he's probably done more laps on 4 wheels than he has done 3 now, with half an hour to go.
Just finish. 2 points in the bag. I love how this track uses the 2D sprites as well, to sort of that GPL flashback.
Yep.
Well, currently 71% of the chat think that it's going to finish with fewer than 15 cars. Let's get some destruction going.
Oh dear, it'll be like Wreckfest. 1950s style.
1954 Robot Wars or something.
With Craig Charles's great granddad as the MC. What a wazzock.
Young Jonathan Pierce.
I have to give a shout out to Martin Bardo leading the 3-litre class, despite unfortunately Bugier's demise earlier on. That was a bit of a shock, I think, to all of us really.
We're almost in with a chance of having all 3 classes on the podium, but Bayer's got to sort of demolish a 9-second lead over the next 30 minutes or so. Might be able to do it. Given it's a 4-minute lap.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens if he closes up to Simon Frelick.
I was thinking he might be able to see him coming out the other side of the hairpin, but the gap's too big for that. 10 seconds the gap now. That's lap traffic ahead of him. Oh, sorry, we're looking at Darren Andrews there, aren't we? So, yeah, it's the wrong driver, wrong corner. That gap is going down though between Bayer and Freilich though, so might be done before the end. Another lap down for Darren Andrews in his Bristol. 26.48 on the clock. 29.6 between Jake and Kantonen, so looks like this one isn't going to be one for the 5 litres. But still a great spread of classes as well, which is cool to see.
Yeah, Kantonen's just been absolutely ruthless on this tear through Dundrod, hasn't he?
That's Silberwolf in front of him, so we should have a battle momentarily.
So funny hearing both engines as the cars power out of the hairpin. Silverwolf sounds like his car sounds like a blooming kazoo in comparison with the rumble of the 5-litre Jag.
The growl of the Jag and the it's like the wasp in a can of the Aston in front.
It's like a flock of hornets, you know, like a swarm of hornets going like in the Maserati, and they've just got the Jag that just goes, "I'm here."
Should overpower the car up the straight, you would have thought. Looking back from Silberwolf's car. There's the Jag on the prowl. Should also close up on the brakes, given that it's got discs versus drums. Mantis in the pits once again. This is where the Jag can really open the taps and see how much you can close that gap. 1.8 as it stands. See it going down. Speed and power, as Jeremy Clarkson would say. Get some air over the hump. Down the other side. It's not demolishing that gap, but it's eating it.
One bite at a time.
saying that, it is nearly tea time and I am hungry.
Mhm. Silver Wolf flirting with the grassy verge again.
Bear's in the pit lane. So looks like he won't get third after all.
He also could lose out in the class lead as well to Rupi Kurkipa. That gap's coming down as Bayer's been in the pit lane now for 30 seconds.
Well, he shouldn't be there for that long because he doesn't need to put that much fuel in to reach the end, but stranger things have happened as the meme shows itself one more time.
Yeah, yellow in second.
Kubica's also in, so no worries there for Bayer. He leaves just as Kubica comes in. Scooby will get in front of Kurkipa here. Murray has destroyed that gap to Silverwolf. Lost the time, managed to get it back. Should make up loads of time on the brakes here. Hear the squeaking of the brakes as well. Now, 0.4. It's a fast run towards the end of the lap, so Morea should be able to keep the speed up a bit. Might have to bleed a little bit more speed into the corners, but can get the power down on the exit. Whereas the 2-litre car in front can just lob it in.
Yeah, you can also, just lobs it in, whereas Morea's taking wider entries into these corners just to get the car around it, just to sort of like nail that apex and then get it out the final corner like he's just done there.
You can see that Silverwolf gained a lot of time on him there, or pulled a lot of time on him, I should say, because the gap's now 2.3. As Askari Kantonen gets his Tommy Mäkinen on through the hairpin again.
Channeling his inner Juha Kankkunen.
Who's the Lancia driver that who was really good, but then
I think it was Henri Toivonen.
Yeah. I get him confused with Ari Vatnen for some reason. I don't know. Don't know how. 28 seconds to gap between Jake and Kantonen in front. Maybe we should start calling Kantonen Alberto Oscari because he's that good.
Yeah, Toivonen, he actually raced with Talbot, Opel, Porsche, and Lancia. Lancia is actually the last team that he raced with because there was that incident at the Tour de Corse in '86.
Where Group B died.
Yeah, with the Lancia Delta S4.
Oh, so yeah.
Oh, dearie,
That's
dearie me.
Silverwolf
Getting
another
lost.
one going too far forward.
Oopsie.
That's trespassing. At least you can see the traffic coming towards you.
True.
That's a freebie for Morea there. He's pulled 18 seconds on him already, and Simmad Paul now having a look at Silverwolf again in a faster class car. So Silverwolf might lose another position here. Simon Frelick in the pit lane. So Bayer might take third after all.
That was a bit close. Sinmad Paul's looking.
Sometimes you misjudge the performance of your car versus the other one, don't you?